What's going on, guys? Today we are installing the new Dongar Pro. This is a power adapter that's plug and play for a dash cam. It's going to apply to 2nd gen, 3rd gen, and even the new 4th gen Tacoma. Of course, they make a bunch of power adapters for other cars, but today we're just going to be focusing on this one. But you're getting new features out of the Pro versus the original. I actually have the original installed and it's worked great. It's been very seamless. You can't even see it, but that one just turns on and off with the ignition. So the Pro gives you more features. We're going to get the camera, get a closer look at the original before removing it, and then we'll get to unboxing the Pro and installing it. All right, so using this light right here, we're going to get a closer look. So that is the Garmin Mini, and that is the power adapter right there. I kind of just looped it over the stem of the mirror, and if you look very, very closely at the bottom where the light is the most, that's the plug. So you unplug the factory power source that goes to it, and it plugs into this power adapter, and then you plug in that little mini USB to the Garmin. So we're gonna jump inside and get an even closer look, but I wanted you to see it from outside. That way you've got a better idea of how I did this one. When you're inside, you cannot see it at all, which is the best part. I've got the flash on the camera, just so we have some light in here. So this is my view from the driver's seat. You can't see anything at all, and I really was happy with the install. So if we get a closer look, you can see the Mini 2. It comes with a little double-sided tape stick on for the Mini that has like a pivoting ball so you can adjust it. Jumping in on this side, this is the view from the passenger seat, which you can also really not see anything as far as the dash cam goes. And if we jump over here a little bit, you can see the original Dongar power adapter. So right here, this is the adapter. It looks a little clunky, but it really isn't. It is very streamlined, and it's awesome because you don't need to run a power wire all the way across, down through the A-pillar and into some sort of power source. Most people won't even tap into, like a legit power source in the fuse box, so they'll just run it up and put it in a USB. I want this to look as stock and seamless as possible, so that's why I had originally went this route. But like I told you in the beginning of this video, this is much simpler as far as wiring goes. I'm going to record myself removing it so you can see basically the removal is the same process as the install goes. And we're going to set it on the little workbench and we'll compare it to the new Dongar Pro. Okay, we're gonna have to try to do this by hand. It is literally impossible to try to get a camera set up in this tight little spot. So we're releasing the clip, pulling the power out, and then we will be removing this USB. This goes to the camera right now. So we'll put that over to the side and we'll remove this power. So this is the Dongar. This is the factory one. I did put this heat shrink around it just to tighten things up a bit, but usually that little USB is loose. You could probably double side tape it to this, but I had extra heat shrink, so we just did that. But now you can see this is the factory wire right here that goes right into the mirror. So now that we have the original Dongar removed, we're going to open up the Pro and see what we got inside. So this looks like the power adapter right here, and this is going to give you the features where this one doesn't. So ignition will just turn on and off exactly like the original. Then you've got continuous, which will power the dash cam continuously until it detects that it could kill the battery and shut off. And then you've got T for timed, which will power the dash cam for 4 hours after the ignition's been turned off. So this will be good for situations where you park and you want more protection as far as the dash cam goes. It'll keep running instead of just turning on and off with this guy. And since it's switched, you can really easily change these at any time based off the scenario that you're in. So this looks to be just similar to the original harness, and you basically order this off of the pins that you have. So this is the 12-pin connector. It's a late 2nd gen. Some of the early ones have a 10-pin. You just have to pop off the harness from the mirror and count before ordering. This guy is new because originally it was just a larger USB. So this is going to plug here. So this is the Dongar Pro right here on the left versus the original Dongar. And let's see here. So we've got a mini USB. So they give you 3 different options. These are going to plug into the new unit, and this will now go to your mirror, or sorry, to your dash cam. So depending on which dash cam you have, you're going to choose a different harness, and this is great that it gives you multiple different options, because you won't get stuck installing it depending on the different brand and whichever version you have. Now these guys are going to be different harnesses for different trucks, so it's not going to be used on this install. I thought I was going to have to tuck these up somewhere and hide them, but looking at it, this is just it really. Let's see, so it's not that much different than the original Dongar, which, let me get this wire. I had already popped this off the mirror when we took it out of the truck. So very similar. If you're upgrading, you're not really doing that much more. There's still both options available based off the price point that you want to pay. So just choose whichever one works best for you. I'm happy with the original. The Pro is just going to give me even more features. We got the correct USB adapter selected. Let's get this thing installed. The original Dongar removed. You can now see where we just have the Mini on the windshield. This is the original harness that would have went into the mirror. And we're going to put in the adapter. So this will now plug in here. This will now plug in here. And then we're going to need to figure out where I need to mount this, so we have it out of the way and we have the proper length to plug this in. I want everything to be as seamless and out of the way as the original. There's no way I'm going to be able to record this, so I'm going to mount it all up and we'll show you what I ended up doing. Alright guys, so here is the final product. We have the power coming from the original harness, and then it is plugged into the mirror, and now that little mini harness is going to the new Dongar Pro, and this USB is going to the Garmin Mini. So the only thing I'm not a huge fan of is the exposed colored wires, but I do have some heat shrink that I can put over there and just heat it up with a heat gun and get that black like the rest of the wiring. So if we do, let's turn this off. So this is the passenger view. The only thing I can see now is just a little bit of that USB wire. I can definitely move that and get it hidden. And we're going to jump on the driver's side and see how it looks. Okay, so you got the Garmin Mini right there. And from the driver's side, you can't see anything at all. Let's put the key in the ignition and we'll get the camera powered up. I'm going to have to screen record the phone so that way you can see what the camera is seeing. So you see that light on the camera? That means we are good to go. And let's see, I believe there's a small light on the Dongar. So we do have power there. Right now you can see the power is on the camera. We're going to go ahead and turn off the truck. And I do have it on the timed mode, so you can see the power is still on. We're going to be recording for 4 hours. Now obviously we're not going to be recording for 4 hours on this video, but the camera will if I leave it. Let's see what happens if we switch it from time to continuous while the truck's off. I wonder if it'll turn off. Okay, well, it's continuously recording, so we still have power. So let's see what happens when we turn it to ignition. So ignition is off. This should kill the power. Oh yeah. Immediately kill the power, and let's see how long it takes to turn the camera off. And that's it. It did turn the camera off. So all 3 settings work. I'll be able to switch this on the fly depending on the scenario I'm in. Sometimes I might want it on ignition. Sometimes I might want it on 4 hours timed or continuous, you know, for road trips, daily driver usage. Or, you know, even if we go camping and I want the power on all the time on the camera, That'll actually be a good option to just keep this thing live and recording pretty much 24/7 on a trip. So do with it what you will. I enjoy both of these. I think they both have great options, the original and the Pro. But again, it's up to you on the price point you want and the features you want.